Good evening and welcome to the Legends Edition. Tonight, grief engulfs Chesongoch area in Kerio Valley, Elgeyo Marakwet County, where deadly mudslide has left families homeless and in despair. The heavy rains pounding the region and much of the country continue to cause destruction, leaving behind a trail of loss and devastation. Tonight, in the highlights.
We can account for about 15 persons who have already died. And so everything is being done here to make sure that this situation is handled.
Painful search for loved ones as the true cost of the deadly mudslide in Chesongoch continues to unfold. President Ruto challenges Kenyans to register for identification cards and the Social Health Authority on his tour of the Western region. Tanzania President Samia Suluhu wins a second term in office with a resounding victory.
Naomba tufanye kazi pamoja, tuendelee kuimarisha chama yetu, na hii chama ikiwa imara ndio mtaheshimika.
And ODM leader Oburu Odinga talks unity as he rallies the party's grassroots leaders in Mombasa County. A warm welcome to the Legends Edition. I'm Marie Yambo. Helping me on the sign language is Byron Abuli. Now we begin with devastating news where the death toll in the landslide at Chesongoch Kerio Valley, Elgeyo Marakwet landslides, has reached 15 after recovery of 5 more bodies. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen says 30 people are still missing as the rescue operation continues. The landslides occurred on Saturday morning following heavy rainfall sweeping away several homes. Several people have been rescued in a joint operation by the military, police and Kenya Red Cross and are receiving treatment at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital and other health facilities.
Grief engulfed Chesongo area in Kerio Valley sub-county, Elgeyo Marakwet County, after deadly mudslides occurred in the area at 2 a.m. and swept away several homes down the steep hills. This is after a heavy downpour that hit the area the entire night. Government security agencies and humanitarian emergency organizations then quickly pulled efforts for a rescue mission. As at now, 21 persons have lost their lives and their bodies have been retrieved from the scene. The rescue operation by the military and police choppers has seen tens of survivors move to safety, while those injured were airlifted to Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret, Chesongo Mission Hospital and other nearby facilities for treatment.
At the moment, I want to ask the people of Kerio Valley here, people of the 3 wards in Marakwet East, to continue pulling together the way they have done and to support each other in solidarity even as we reach out to the bereaved.
All ambulances from West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet could not access the area because all the roads, including the tarmacs, were cut off from Kapsawar to Mogil. We could not actually bring ambulances to this place and even medical supplies. Therefore, the only option was to airlift.
Received about 23 casualties. Among 23, 10 of them were seriously injured. And these 10, we tried as much as we could to stabilize them, to give them the first aid attentions. Unfortunately, we were able to lose 3 patients among them.
Currently, all transport activities in the area have been paralyzed due to floods and landslides, with residents being advised to avoid traveling until floodwater subsides.
This tragedy really reminds us that we must be very careful during this rainy season especially, along this Kerio Valley escarpment all the way from Samburu to West Pokot. And I want to ask our people to be on the lookout. We want to request all of them to go to higher ground.
Ile mlio ilikuja, tulishangaa ni mlio gani. Mpaka mwishowe tu nikaamua nikaambia watoto, leo ni siku ya mwisho kwa hii dunia. Mtoke nje, kila mtu aende nje zake. Kama Mungu akitujalia tuishi mpaka asubuhi, tuongee. Kama tukienda, tukutane wapi? Mbinguni huko. Kwa sababu ilikuwa mbaya mbovu.
Malasi yote yamesombwa, nyumba zote zimelalishwa. Chakula zote kwa nyumba zimetolewa.
The weatherman has warned that heavy rainfall and thunderstorms are expected in Elgeyo Marakwet and other counties, including West Pokot, Homa Bay, Murang'a, Nairobi and several other parts of the country. Giverson Minor, Legends Edition.
Thank you, Giverson Minor. At the same time, in Trans Nzoia County, about 3,000 people have been displaced after the River Sabwani burst its banks following days of heavy rain in Kapomboi Ward, Trans Nzoia County. Namanjalala, Soy Mining, Kapsitwet and Marinda were the most affected villages.
The raging waters have submerged homes, swept away crops, livestock and left entire villages cut off. The affected residents have fled to Namanjalala shopping center, now serving as a temporary refuge for displaced families.
Hatutaki kupoteza watoto wetu, hatutaki kupoteza wananchi wetu. Kama hapa kuna shule, watoto wameenda shule asubuhi, sasa hivi maji yamejaa. Watapitia wapi wakirudi? Haya, vizima vya hapa ni vizima za mkono hizi. Haya maji yamejaa, yamefunika hizo vizima. Watakunywa maji wapi? Kwa sababu kwenda kuwa na waterborne diseases.
County authorities are in fear the situation will worsen if urgent evacuations are not carried out. Charles Yabuna, the Kwanza Sub-County Administrator, said an estimated 3,000 families have been affected by the floods. A joint rescue team from the county government and the national administration has been deployed to assess the damage.
Almost 3,000 families kutoka kule juu Kapomboi mpaka huku na Manjalala zimeathirika. As a county government, the first thing ambayo tunafanya through our structures ya administration, tuna vacate watu kutoka kwa manyumba zao waende safe places. And again, tunashirikiana na other partners. Red Cross wako kwa ground kuensure kwamba we create camps ili watu wetu wakuwe safeguarded katika hali hiyo.
Their reports show that at least 6 schools, including Tembelela, Lurale, St. Emmanuel, Bungoma and Chief Mutende primary schools, as well as the Kapomboi Vocational Training Center, have been affected. Local leaders are now calling on the Kenya Red Cross and county authorities to establish a command center to coordinate relief efforts, food distribution and medical assistance. Meanwhile, residents have voiced frustration over what they call years of neglect. They are now blaming the government for failing to complete dike construction projects along the River Sabwani that began in 2017, meant to control seasonal flooding.
Hii tatizo lilianza kitambo tangu tuishi mahali hapa. Tumelilia serikali ikakuja ikatuundia dike. Na hiyo dike ijamalisiwa. Mwaka jana walikuja wakatuambia wanakuja kutumalisia upande ya chini, lakini hawakukuja. Sasa mwaka huu maji ndio imesiti kupita kiasi, kupita miaka zote.
Ini ombi langu ni kwa serikali itafute suluhisho ambayo inaweza kutusaidia ili pia sisi tukajisikie huru kama wana Kenya.
Vile tunaona viongozi wengine wanakisaidia kule Budalangi wakienda kule Nyando, tungelipenda pia kuona viongozi wale tuliowachagua wenye wako kwa serikali na wale wako kwa serikali ya kaunti waje hapo mashinani waweze kusikiliza hawa kinanga mama na hawa wazee waelekeze.
To other news now, where President William Ruto has urged Kenyans without national identification cards to take advantage of the government's waiver on application charges to acquire the crucial document. The president, who spoke in Vihiga County during his ongoing development tour of the Western region, said the waiver will make it easier for citizens to access government services and benefit from national programs. He also urged Kenyans to register with the Social Health Authority to ensure universal access to healthcare.
Day 3 of President William Ruto's tour of the Western region saw him make a stop in Vihiga County, where he called on Kenyans without national identification cards to apply for them, following the government's decision to scrap all related charges. Ruto also urged Kenyans to register with the Social Health Authority, saying no one shall be forced to sell property to access medical treatment, warning health facilities still charging for outpatient services, insisting that the government has already allocated funds for that purpose.
We are asking every citizen to register themselves so that we can operate our health facilities on the basis of accurate data. We can plan how much health commodities and medicines, how much equipment we need, and the human capital, including health professionals that we need to be able to administer health to all the citizens of the Republic of Kenya.
The president used the occasion to reaffirm his call for unity among leaders, saying national cohesion remains key to Kenya's transformation agenda.
Tuondoe siasa ya chuki na ukabila na ubaguzi. Tuunganishe Wakenya wote. Tuwe team moja ya taifa la Kenya.
During the visit, the president launched the construction of the 340-bed student hostel at Ebuhanga Technical and Vocational College in Emuhaya as part of a national effort to improve housing in learning institutions. He also flagged off the 1.1 billion shillings Vihiga Last Mile Connectivity Project, expected to connect over 15,000 households to electricity, and announced plans to build 10 modern markets at a cost of 2 billion shillings, along with a 900 million stadium at Kidundu. Vihiga Governor Dr. Wilbur Tichler welcomed the projects, pledging full support for the broad-based government.
Sitakuwa na mengi, ni kusema tu shukurani kubwa sana sana.
Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, and Cooperative CS Wycliffe Oparanya were among leaders who accompanied the president. Doreen Arange for Legends Edition.
Let's now cross to Tanzania, where Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan has been declared the winner of the country's disputed election with more than 98% of the votes cast amid violent protests across the country earlier in the week. Tanzania's Electoral Commission declared Suluhu of Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM party the winner with 31.6 million votes. In Tanzania's semi-autonomous archipelago of Zanzibar, which elects its own government, and leader CCM's Hussein Mwinyi, who is the incumbent president, won nearly 80% of the vote.
According to Tanzania's Electoral Commission, President Samia won 98% of the votes, nearly sweeping the 32 million ballots cast in Wednesday's election. International observers have expressed concern over the lack of transparency and widespread turmoil that has reportedly left hundreds of people dead and hundreds injured. The nationwide internet shutdown is making it difficult to verify the death toll. The government has sought to play down the scale of violence, and authorities have extended the dusk to dawn curfew in a bid to quell the unrest. The landslide victory announced by Tanzania's Electoral Commission hands President Samia, who took power in 2021, a 5-year term to govern the East African country of 68 million people.
Back home, Orange Democratic Movement acting party leader Oburu Odinga has called for unity of the party ahead of general elections in 2027. Oburu vowed to strengthen the party, urging the leadership and the supporters to set aside their differences and focus on making the party bigger and better.
Speaking during his first meeting with the ODM grassroots leaders and supporters in Mombasa County since his confirmation as the acting party leader, Oburu Odinga asserted that he is equal to the task of steering the party to prosperity in strength and unity.
Chama ni watu. Chama sio binafsi. Chama ni watu, na mkiniunga mkono basi nitafaulu. Lakini mkikosa kuniunga mkono sisi zote tutazama. Kwa hivyo naomba tufanye kazi pamoja, tuendelee kuimarisha chama yetu, na hii chama ikiwa imara ndio mtaheshimika.
He therefore rallied ODM leaders and supporters to actualize that goal. Sentiments echoed by the Secretary General of the party, Edwin Sifuna.
Hakuna mtu atawaheshimu ikiwa nyinyi ni wanyonge, ikiwa nyinyi ni wachache, na ikiwa nyinyi mnaruhusu watu kuingilia nyinyi polepole na pesa na nini na uongo na porojo. Hii gangari. Ikiwa mtu ameleta kitu ya kukula, wewe kula tu. Lakini hiyo ni shauri yake. Wewe ni mwana chungwa. Na usimame gangari, ndio utaheshimika na sisi tufanye kazi.
I want us to continuously remain, be steadfast katika yale ambayo kwamba tumeweza kuyakubaliana. Ikifika mwaka 2027 tutapeleka mwelekeo vile ulivyo, but hata iwe itakavyokuwa tusikubali kuanzia sasa mpaka mwaka 2027 tuwe divided in any way.
Mimi nataka niwahakikishie wanachama wote wa ODM, nilivyosema katika mazishi ya baba, mimi Sifuna nitafanya kila lililoko katika uwezo wangu kuhakikisha kwamba chama hiki kinasalia pamoja na kinaweza kudumu hata zaidi ya miaka 20 mingine ambayo tunasherehekea.
They vowed to cease internal wrangles so as to focus on their presidential candidate in the upcoming 2027 general elections, even as they continue working with the Kenya Kwanza under the broad-based government.
Hiyo 10-point agenda ile tukakubaliana na hawa, hiyo ndio tutaitimiza mpaka 2027. Ikifika 2027 na nyinyi mkuganga, you can either form the government or you will be in the government. But we are not going to be a party.
Nasikia kuna watu wanazunguka wakisema ati ni baba pekee alikuwa anaweza kuangusha wao kura. Kuna mjumbe hapa ametuambia mtoto wa Simba ni nini? Simba. Watashangaa sana.
For Legends Edition from Mombasa County, I am Ann Boro.
Well, and that report by Ann Boro brings us to our first break of the bulletin. We'll be back with much more.
Safurahisha, unaweza shangaa na tabasamu ya usoni, tunahakikisha
lugha tuseme za kwetu, tusiofie kejeli, talanta yasonga mbele, maendeleo yang'aa.
Serikali imefanikiwa ama imefua dafu kudhibiti visa vya ajali nchini?
Serikali imefanikiwa kuweka kamera za kidijitali ambazo zinaweza kupima kama gari inawenda kwa mwendo wa kasi.
Kwanza unajua kwamba mashinani hakuna hizo kamera za usalama unazosema.
Tunge sentensi kwa kuzingatia kiwakilishi cha idadi.
Wawili wamefariki.
Wawili wamefariki, upige makofi binti huyu.
Maudhui ni jumla ya mawazo katika kazi ya fasihi.
There you go. That's for you.
What?
All I get is a what?
Wewe ni mnoma, wewe ni fire.
Kwa hivyo Jabali hawezi.
Asante sana. Asante. Nimeshukuru.
Trust. It seems so far your plan is working.
What plan?
Those drugs in those boxes are not licensed.
How risky is it?
What is she grilling you about?
Ni nani?
Wacha nikuje. Jemedari wants to come here. We discuss his medical report.
Daktari, nipe tu dakika moja tu. Nitie mke wangu.
A warm welcome back. We continue with the news where Democracy for Citizens Party DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua now says attempts by some political quarters to label the Mount Kenya electorate as tribal will not succeed. Speaking during the burial service of 6 family members who tragically lost their lives after their vehicle plunged into River Kithe in Kiriara Ward, Gatanga constituency that is in Murang'a County, Rigathi accused Kenya Kwanza leaders of disrespecting the people of Central region despite their unwavering support in the 2022 general election.
Anatukana sisi, anatukana jamii yetu akisema sisi ni roho chafu.
alikuwa pale akasema Uhuru Kenyatta ni roho chafu, akasema Rigathi Gachagua ni roho chafu, akasema Martha Karua ni roho chafu, akasema Justin Muturi ni roho chafu, akasema Linturi ni roho chafu. Ni matusi, si matusi.
To matters health now, where Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has directed the ministry's technical team to undertake a nationwide survey to establish the actual number of maternal and newborn deaths. Duale has also instructed all health facilities to report every maternal and newborn death, conduct timely audits to determine causes and issue actionable recommendations for corrective measures. According to data from the Health Information System, at least 16 mothers die daily during childbirth, a figure the CS says is immoral and against the Global Convention on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, to which Kenya is a signatory. Duale was speaking during the inaugural graduation of MP Shah College of Health Sciences in Nairobi.
Lose 16 mothers daily and simply talk about it. It's not only immoral, but again is a global convention on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, to which Kenya is a signatory. So what are we going to do as a Ministry of Health? And we must respond. And we must respond decisively. I have today, and even yesterday, directed our technical teams to undertake a nationwide survey to establish the actual number of maternal and newborn deaths. And in parallel, we have instructed all our health facilities to report every maternal and newborn death.
And still on matters health, the Ministry of Health has revealed plans to collaborate with churches to encourage Kenyans to pay up for Social Health Insurance Fund. Speaking in Nyeri during the 37th graduation ceremony of Sister Leonola Consolata Medical College, Principal Secretary for Medical Services Dr. Omar Luga said in addition to supporting primary healthcare through budgetary allocation, Kenyans must also back government efforts by making timely remittance to the healthcare fund. Oluga reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensure affordable and accessible healthcare for all through the Social Health Authority, anchored on three funds: the Social Health Insurance Fund, Fund SHIF, and the Primary Healthcare Fund, and the Emergency Chronic Illness and Critical Illness Fund.
Review and implement healthcare. That is why for many years, 59 years, we have been implementing a system that, even though it worked in some cases, excluded millions and millions of Kenyans. A system that was working for only those that were employed. And so through His Excellency the President, healthcare has been placed as an economic transformative agenda. So that it's not just about treating people, but it's about transforming the economy.
And Nairobi's Jamia Mosque is celebrating 100 years of existence and has opened its doors to non-Muslims to interact and learn more about Islam. This year's annual Open Day has been used to promote the power of religious unity and diversity. On Saturday, visitors to the mosque had an often rare opportunity to tour the holy grounds and have a feel of Islam. Yusuf Farah reports.
For the 9th time since the maiden Open Day, Jamia Mosque Nairobi has opened its doors to members of the public and all faith. The move seeks to educate attendees on the teachings of Islam and what happens in the daily life of a Muslim. From the mosque tour, to live prayer observations. In the Q&A session, the visitors got a first-hand experience of what guides the Islamic faith.
How about prayers?
The organizing committee says lessons learned from the previous open days have made holding this annual event easier over the years.
Definitely we have improved today, and that is how to handle our visitors, the volunteers, how they should carry themselves as they engage the passers-by, that we are welcoming them to the masjids. And we are seeing the future that we are going to make it even better and bigger.
Nili number one ni kupata fursa sio kwa Waislamu waje washuhudie kipi ambacho kinafanyika ndani ya msikiti, wapate pia kutangamana na Waislamu, wapate kujua maadili ya Kiislamu, na pia wakiwa na maswali yao wapate kujibiwa maswali kutokamana na mashekhe wa Kiislamu, wapate the right information, si masala misconceptions ambazo watu wanasikia kule nje Uislamu ni kadha wa kadha wa kadha.
For the visitors, this opportunity has helped demystify myths that they've heard about Islam as a way of life.
Witnessing the prayers, which were very beautiful, it felt like it was a very meaningful moment, watching everyone moving together, the silence, but also the words was very beautiful. And what was more interesting for me, though, was like to compare the Christian theology and the Islamic theology, you know, around language, the language of scriptures, or the use of images, or roles of gender. These kinds of things were, for me, very interesting. Not so much in competition, but just interesting to see, okay, that's how you do it, that's how we do it.
Na mafunzo imeendelea na hizo misconceptions about Islam, I think zimeexplainiwa vizuri na nimeweza kuelewa kabisa, especially the jihad part. Nimeelewa vizuri maana ya jihad ni nini.
I saw the mosque. It's not the way we hear. It is outside there. Walking through the mosque and experiencing and the way the questions were answered, I think they really go down deep, and they are here. They said they are not comparing. We are not comparing Christianity to Islam. We are here to learn about Islam. So it was never a debate.
The Mosque Committee is calling on other mosques countrywide to emulate this initiative and accommodate more persons who would wish to learn about the religion but are barred by the long distance to Kenya's capital city.
My take home, never judge a book by its cover, one. Two, we should be very diverse in learning other people's religion, and we should also respect them, and we should also not talk bad or maybe criticize something that we don't know.
With Jamia Mosque Nairobi commemorating 100 years, it is the hope of the organizing committee that such initiatives will go a long way in fostering religious cohesion. Yusufar reporting for the Legends edition at Jamia Mosque, Nairobi.
Thank you, Yusufara. Now to some political news, where Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana has accused the ODM party of breaching its cooperation agreement with the UDA by fielding a candidate to contest in Chewani Ward in Tana River County in the upcoming by-elections. The remarks come just days after UDA refrained from issuing a ticket to its own candidate in the Magarini by-election in Kilifi County.
As campaigns for the upcoming by-elections in the country intensify, Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana has accused ODM party of reneging on its cooperation agreement with the UDA by fielding a candidate to contest in Chewani Ward in Tana River County.
Hapa kwetu Pwani tuna viti viwili ambavyo tunapigania. Hiyo ya hapa Magarini ambayo sisi kwa ile spirit ya umoja tumesema tutoke. Tumeachilia hiyo. ODM wangangani. Hapa tunaona Alibicho anasimama na ODM. Sasa kuna haki hapo kweli?
National Liberal Party leader Augustus Muli has termed the current political parties funding model as discriminatory of small parties and recommended a 15% allocation of the national budget to the kitty to support all registered political parties.
We want to urge the government to respect us and to support us. Support us with financing, and we'll make sure that this country is safe. We'll make sure that this country is peaceful. We'll make sure that there's no electoral violence. That will be our role. We will sign a code of conduct as political parties. We'll make sure that we conduct the elections in the best way possible.
Muli, who is vying for the position of chairperson of the political party's liaison committee, also emphasized the need for gender inclusion, urging parties to bring more women into leadership and decision-making roles.
Political parties caucus liaison committee, we must fight for that place of the woman in leadership. Kama kiongozi, I will engage all the political parties. I will make sure that every party sends a man and a woman into PPLC.
In Nairobi County, the Kenya Patriotic Party says it's keen on supporting the youth, women and visionary grassroots leaders who have often been shortchanged by the old parties to vie for political positions in the country. Speaking when he endorsed Geoffrey Owino as their preferred candidate in the upcoming by-elections in Kariobangi North Ward, the party leader Agnes Kagure said the coming elections in the country would be decided by the young generation.
Kwanza sasa hii niko Pumwani, munipatie tu kijana. Na Mungu amenionyesha, unlike when you are pregnant, you don't know whether it's a girl or a boy, tunajua ni kijana.
Tilio Marco for Legends Edition.
A family from Mtondea, Kilifi County is in dire need of 4 million shillings to enable their teenage son undergo a life-saving kidney transplant in India. 18-year-old Emmanuel Chakaya, a Form 4 student, was forced to cut short his education owing to the kidney complication that has left him bedridden and in pain. Our reporter Opicho Chemtai brings us details of his battle with a congenital kidney problem diagnosed in 2019 that has since led to multiple complications.
At only 18 years old, the life of Emmanuel Muweye Chakaya, a Form 4 student at Mangu High School, is in limbo following a life-changing diagnosis that is congenital kidney disease. Emmanuel had an uneventful childhood. However, life as he knew it will drastically change in the year 2019 after he was diagnosed with a congenital kidney condition that had remained undetected since childhood. The family will discover he was born with only one kidney and it was beginning to fail, leading to multiple complications.
We did not know what was the problem until we went for further investigation in Aga Khan, Mombasa. After doing those several radiology examination, we realized he actually has this abnormal kidney which is fused together.
Alifanyiwa operation hiyo 2019, tukaambiwa inapunguza pressure kutoka kwa kidneys. So after that yakawa sawa na tukaona ni kama shida imeisha.
And in 2023, 4 years after the discovery of his kidney problem, his condition will worsen, and doctors at the Kenyatta National Hospital, where he was receiving treatment, advised the family to have him undergo a kidney transplant in India owing to the further organ complications.
So tangu 2023 ndio imeanza ile uchafu kwa damu imeanza kupanda. Paka ikafikia ile level ya kwa daktari anasema lazima tujitayarishe na mambo za kufanya transplant.
2 years after they were informed he required a kidney transplant, Emmanuel's brother will offer to donate his kidney to him as his condition worsened in January this year.
We are in a hurry to take him to India because his condition is deteriorating. His rate of function or kidney functions have been so high that sometimes we are actually also in dilemma.
The doctors have since informed the family to have him urgently undergo a transplant in India to save his life.
Akona shida kwa bladder pia haiwezi kuempty vizuri. So ikawa it's like a complication which cannot be handled in Kenya. Ndio ikaje ile ya kuwa tuende nje.
Siwezi enda hata kwa watu vile cause diet hainiruhusu. Exposure pia sometimes italeta shida cause mtu anaweza kuwa yuko akona tuseme kama anakohoa manini inaweza ni affect cause immunity tayari iko weak juu ya hiyo issue.
With his brother ready to donate one of his kidneys to him, the family is now grappling with raising the 4 million shillings required for him to go to India for the transplant as they have exhausted their savings.
We just need that help. Because hata saa hii kitu kama SHA haiwezi kutusimamia, kwa sababu ni kama bado hawajaweka ile mikakati ya kufanya hizo sponsors za treatment abroad.
And that's why we seek and we indulge you kindly. If you are there and you want to help Emmanuel, this is the opportunity time to save him from the condition that he is in.
To assist Emmanuel, you can send your contribution to paybill number 247247, account number 608463. I repeat, paybill number 247247, account number 608463. Opito Chemtai Legends Edition.
This November, Nairobi becomes the heart of Africa's electrotechnical transformation. From November 4th to 6th, the International Electrotechnical Commission, IEC Africa, 10th year anniversary conference takes center stage at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. Hosted by the Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, International Electrotechnical Commission, IEC, and the Kenya National Commission of IEC, this landmark event celebrates a decade of progress, powering innovation, standardization, and sustainable development across the continent. Join global experts, policymakers, industry leaders, and innovators for high-level discussions, groundbreaking showcases, and the launch of the Africa Electrotechnical Quality Infrastructure Week. Be part of Africa's journey toward clean energy, smart infrastructure, and a unified electrotechnical future. Don't miss it. IEC Africa 2025, where standards meet solutions, where Africa powers forward.
President, Dr. Chiang got shot. Huh? Never asked anyone to cut corners, and I never will.
Wipe his face! They're here!
Defibrillator, 200. Clear!
I look at sports now, where Margaret Kunihira scored a hat-trick as defending champions Police Bullets thrashed Gideon Starlets 6-0 in the FKF Women's Premier League in a show of dominance in a one-sided encounter played at the Police Soccer Stadium earlier today. Ulinzi Starlets beat Zitex Sparks 1-0 in another match as Kibera Soccer women were held to a barren draw by Trinity Starlets. Kayole Starlets scored 2 against Kisumu All Starlets without any reply.
It took just 12 minutes for the champions to break the deadlock through star striker Margaret Kunihira, who capitalized on her defensive lapse to slot home the opener. 4 minutes later, Lorna Nyarido doubled the advantage with a calm finish after a brilliant build-up from the midfield. The Bullets kept up the pressure, and in the 33rd minute, Zaina Namuleme fouled the back of the net, extending the lead to 3-0 before the halftime whistle. The writing was already on the wall for the visitors as Police Bullets completely dominated the possession and dictated the pace of the game onwards. Kunihira once again proved why she's one of the league's most dangerous forwards, scoring 2 quick goals in the second half to complete a well-deserved hat-trick. The 6th goal came in late in the game, sealing an emphatic 6-0 victory for the defending champions. The results send a strong warning to their league rivals as Police Bullets continue their title defense in impressive fashion. Their attack looked sharp, their defense solid, and their teamwork near flawless throughout the 90 minutes. The win keeps Police Bullets at the top of the FKF Women Premier League table as Gideon Starlets continue to search for their first victory of the season.
Dan Moendo reporting there. Sofapaka moved up to 8th position on the FKF Premier League table after beating Nairobi United 3-0 in one of 3 matches played today. The game between Mara Sugar and Bandari FC ended in a goalless draw. So did the 3rd game between Kariobangi Sharks and Shabana.
Sofapaka have closed the gap between them and leaders Kakamega Homeboys to 5 points after beating Nairobi United 3-0. It was the 2nd win of the season for Sofapaka and came just 4 days after drawing 2-2 with Mara Sugar.
Sofapaka, Tafla Joseph Kuloba!
An opening goal in the first half and 2 more goals in the second half were enough to see off United, who have now lost 2 matches and won 2 in their 4 games played so far, leaving them in 13th position with 6 points.
Zimefika mbili. Inatengenezwa kwake Tamasha Simiu upande wa pili huko. Anaitaka Kuloba, anaitaka Jafeth Lihanda Muzungu. Jafeth Lihanda! Anakorogea viziko vitatu vasukari hivyo.
Shabana missed a chance to move up to 4th position from 7th after being held to a goalless draw by Kariobangi Sharks, who are 14th on the table, having won just 1 match this season. The day began with another goalless draw between Mara Sugar and Bandari FC, Mara remaining 9th on the table as Bandari continues to struggle in 11th position.
And Mwamba RFC ladies thrashed Northern Suburbs 41-5 in the semi-finals of the Women Impala Floodlight Tournament to book a place in next weekend's final. Yvonne Katundo, who was the star of the show in the opening minutes as she handed Mwamba 2 converted tries early in the game. Captain Stacey Atieno then added to the tally before Eunice Obadia joined the try scorers with a 4th before halftime. After the break, Mwamba continued their dominance with Captain Atieno scoring 2 more tries in quick succession to complete her hat-trick. Substitute Lynette Mora came off the bench to seal the victory with the final try of the game, capping off 41-5 victory for Mwamba RFC. In the men's category, USIU Marshals booked their place in this final after beating Daystar Falcons 20-11 in the semi-final played at Impala Club. And Deputy Chief of Staff Eliud Owalo has called for a radical shift in how organizations manage human resource capital, urging leaders to embrace long-term strategic goals and harness the potential of Generation Z to drive productivity and sustainability. Speaking at the 29th Annual National Conference of the Institute of Human Resources in Naivasha, Owalo emphasized that Gen Z, the first truly digital generation, is reshaping workplace culture with demands for authenticity, inclusivity, and purpose-driven work.
Well, must have a feeder system. So we need to support our youth team
yeah, at all stages, at all age sets, so that it becomes the most sustainable means of getting a feeder system for the senior team. Yeah. Players are today expensive. There is no point of buying players from other clubs, yeah, if we can actually generate players from our youth feeder system. And that is what we are trying to do for purposes of sustainability, so that we have got a means of continuously strengthening the team year in, year out.
The 2025 New York City Marathon has attracted a mix of veterans and newcomers in the men's elite field, all vying for the ultimate prize of crossing the finish line first in Central Park. The women's field could also be the most competitive roster ever seen at the marathon.
Marathon icon Eliud Kipchoge makes his long-awaited trip to the streets of New York to compete in the final World Marathon Major left on his to-do list. But he'll have to go up against many past winners, including defending champion Abdi Nageye.
This is road running from a different planet here in Berlin in 2022. Eliud Kipchoge smiles for the last time. Let's keep an eye on the clock, just outside 2:01. Eliud Kipchoge is a history maker in Berlin. Yet again, he has done it. The world record has gone, and now he can celebrate. And that is simply stunning.
Nageye won last year's race after surging past Kenyan Evans Chebet, the 2022 champion, in the final stretch to clock 2 hours, 7 minutes and 39 seconds.
That's a guy who's pumped.
Now that's what makes me cry.
Kenenisa Bekele will be the other veteran looking to grab the title this weekend. Bekele competed in the 2022 London Marathon, finishing 5th in 2 hours, 5 minutes and 53 seconds to set a Masters world record in the age of 40 group.
And now, what a feeling this must be. Kenenisa Bekele.
In April, he took part in the London Marathon but withdrew from the race after the 25-kilometer mark.
Kenenisa Bekele. 20 seconds to get inside the world record. It's going to be, as a bare minimum, the second fastest time of all time. He may well just fall short. 2:01:39, remember, the winning time last year. He's going to fall just outside that. Kenenisa Bekele feeling the hand of history on his shoulder, and he's just outside. Would you believe it? He's missed the world record by just 2 seconds.
Three-time major winner Benson Kipruto will be the other athlete to watch at the New York Marathon. Kipruto won the 2024 Tokyo Marathon in a course record time of 2 hours, 2 minutes and 16 seconds, and later represented Kenya in the Olympic Games, where he won a bronze medal after finishing third in the marathon in 2 hours and 7 minutes.
A perfect run, it's as if the body moves without any effort. His moves are strong and fluid. He puts in the kick with the last steps. Benson Kipruto, the winner of the 2021 Boston Marathon.
Other tough opponents in the men's race are Alexandra Mutiso, Hilary Bor, Joe Klecker and Charles Hicks.
And look at Hassan. Hassan on the shoulder of a safer.
From Olympic medalists and past New York City Marathon champions to national record holders and World Marathon Majors winners, the women's field features them all, and it could shape up to be quite the showdown on Sunday. Paris Olympics marathon gold medalist Sifan Hassan looks to follow up her Sydney Marathon win with a victory in New York, but will face a tough challenge of stars all lining up at the start.
Sifan Hassan, in her own inimitable style, does something incredible. 2 bronze medals on the track, but it's all gold on the road.
Hassan's biggest threat are former New York City winners Helen Obiri, Sharon Lokedi and Sheila Chepkirui.
Look at the expression on her face, and the dream is becoming a reality.
In November 2022, Lokedi pulled off an upset when debuting in the marathon as she triumphed by 7 seconds in the New York City Marathon in 2 hours, 23 minutes and 23 seconds. In April this year, Lokedi won the Boston Marathon, setting a women's course record of 2 hours, 17 minutes and 22 seconds. On 17th April 2023, Helen Obiri competed in the Boston Marathon against the deepest elite women field ever assembled and won with a personal best time of 2 hours, 21 minutes and 38 seconds, 12 seconds clear of second-place finisher Amane Beriso. She went on to win the 2023 New York City Marathon in a time of 2 hours, 25 minutes and 49 seconds.
Love watching her race.
Long time since she's been in the right-hand lane.
Defending champion Sheila Chepkirui will be another tough opponent to beat on the streets of New York. Besides her remarkable career, in November 2024, she won the New York City Marathon's women's race, securing her first major marathon title with a time of 2 hours, 24 minutes and 35 seconds. Barclay Feather, Legends Edition Sports.
And she does.
This November, Nairobi becomes the heart of Africa's electrotechnical transformation. From November 4th to 6th, the International Electrotechnical Commission, IEC Africa, 10th Year Anniversary Conference takes center stage at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. Hosted by the Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, International Electrotechnical Commission, IEC, and the Kenya National Commission of IEC, this landmark event celebrates a decade of progress, powering innovation, standardization, and sustainable development across the continent. Join global experts, policymakers, industry leaders, and innovators for high-level discussions, groundbreaking showcases, and the launch of the Africa Electrotechnical Quality Infrastructure Week. Be part of Africa's journey toward clean energy, smart infrastructure, and a unified electrotechnical future. Don't miss it. IEC Africa 2025, where standards meet solutions, where Africa powers forward.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia, tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi, na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Dibengo niko hapa aka upcoming sponsor, bila shaka hapa ni kama Pedeshe, ma Deep State pia vile cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, station ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM, tafrija kipwani.
A warm welcome back. We continue with sports news where Nairobi Water women's handball team continued their impressive start in the 2025-2026 Kenya Handball League season to secure a commanding 46-9 victory over the National Youth Service as the competition entered another weekend at the Nyayo Handball Court. Now, the defending champions showed their class from the very first whistle, dominating all 4 quarters of the match. Nairobi Water stormed to a strong 17-3 lead in the first quarter, extending it to 25-5 by halftime. The attacking rhythm and defensive organization left the National Youth Service side struggling to keep up. In the third quarter, the champions maintained their dominance with a 34-7 lead before sealing an emphatic 46-9 win. And in other matches played at the same venue, Ulinzi's Sharks women crushed Amazon 46-7, while in the men's category, NCPB defeated Desert Scorpions 35-19. Black Mamba also registered a 35-25 victory over Lions in a hard-fought men's match. The league continues tomorrow at the Nyayo Handball Court, with more thrilling clashes expected as teams battle for early season supremacy. I look at hockey now, where Kenya hockey players have demonstrated resilience despite a lack of proper playing field since the City Park hockey stadium's playing surface became unplayable, forcing them to hire private venues for matches. The Kenya Hockey Union has now been forced to seek partners to help them give the facility the much-needed facelift, which is long overdue.
It's been a tedious journey for hockey players in finding the right place to express themselves on the field in the best way they know how, since the playing surface at City Park became unplayable due to its bad state, forcing clubs to look for alternative grounds.
When I was a young man, I used to come here to watch hockey matches, and I remember the India-Pakistan match was played here. So it's a really wonderful place to come, lots of good memories for us. I think what we need to do, we need to look for partners, if not locally, then internationally, to come and help government to come and do some refurbishment on this pitch.
This has affected training and preparations for club and national duties, as it is quite unsustainable and expensive to hire private venues for their league matches.
It is a tall order and it has been difficult, but because of the love of the game, especially the youth, we have to keep on finding ways and means of keeping the game running. So if it is hiring Sikh Union, then we have to hire Sikh Union. You know, our team has just come back from Egypt, and partially we were training here, and partially we were training at Sikh Union. But we have to pay for Sikh Union. If you are a home team, you have to provide ground. Whether you are playing on grass or maram, that one is okay, but you have to provide the ground. It doesn't have to be a turf, but you provide what you can afford.
President of the Kenya Hockey Federation, Nahashon Randiek, is therefore calling on the government to come to their aid in refurbishing the 38-year-old facility.
In the process of looking for a partner, but as we speak, our major partner is the government. The government, the ministry, that's our major partner. And even our proposal is already with them. And we are waiting for them also to respond. But we are not fully relying on them. That is why we are looking for also, if we can get a private, public-private partnership, then we can also bring them in. So that is what we are trying to do. Whichever side comes on first, we'll be very happy.
A couple of partners will be the right way forward. Elgin is a good company. We do lots of stuff with the youth and youth as it is with education, with our Nairobi University project. So it's one of the things we like to do as Elgin Cares. It's one of our mottos, to give back to society. So I think Elgin would be a good partner, but this may be a bit big for us by ourselves, but we'll look around for partners and support where we can.
The national women's hockey team finished third at the recently held African Nations Women's Hockey Championship, a result that demonstrated the resilience and immense potential that the country has in the sport, despite the challenges they are all facing with the lack of a proper field.
The turf needs to be replaced. You can't do anything. You have to rip it off. You have to start by repairing the base. And then once the base is good to go, then you just replace the turf. Yeah.
The beauty is the Kenyan hockey team is very strong. Our national team, ladies team, went to Egypt last week. We won the bronze medal. So our hockey team, men and women, are extremely good, enthusiastic. And I think having a good government facility can only enhance the sport. So whilst we're investing a lot of money in maybe football and other sports, hockey can be a good sport to keep the youth occupied and busy with things like these kind of sports.
The Federation estimates that the refurbishment and renovation of the facility, which includes laying of a new AstroTurf and rehabilitation of changing rooms, will cost 150 million Kenya shillings.
The turf comes in three levels. You have the underlayer, you have the shock base, and then you have the turf on top. But beneath that, you have the base. The base is just like a road, building a road, concrete. Yeah. So that is the base. So the base must be sound for you to place the turf.
A number of potential partners have shown interest in collaborating with the union in revamping the facility.
We're willing to, of course, invest a little bit, but this is a big exercise. It's a huge exercise, as the president mentioned, maybe 150 million shillings. It's a big investment. So it requires a big, strong partner. And again, our appeal is to have maybe, development agencies or embassies or something like that who will be willing to invest in a national asset like this. I think that would be a good partner. Along with, we can find private companies to also chip in as well.
I look now at the IAAF Awards nomination, where the finalists for the 2025 World Athletics Awards will be announced on Monday, with 2 finalists being picked for each category. The 2025 World Marathon champion, Paris Jepchirchir, is among the latest nominees who will be competing for the Women's Out of Stadium Athlete of the Year award after her outstanding achievement in the 2025 Tokyo World Athletics Championship, where she won her 5th global title in the women's marathon in a season best of 2 hours, 24 minutes and 43 seconds. The world 10-kilometer record holder, Agnes Ngetich, has also been nominated for the incredible feat in a year that has seen her take the half marathon world lead with the 3rd fastest performance of all time. There will be a battle for the award, with world leader Tigist Assefa of Ethiopia, London and Sydney marathon winner Sifan Hassan of the Netherlands, and Maria Perez of Spain, the double world champion in the 20-kilometer and 25-kilometer race walk. London and Berlin marathon champion Sebastian Sawe, who recorded the top 2 performances of the year, is the only Kenyan nominee in the men's Out of Stadium Athlete of the Year award, in the list that includes the world 5-kilometer and 10-kilometer leader Yomif Kajalcha of Ethiopia, and the world marathon champion Alphonse Simbu of Tanzania, the world 20-kilometer race walking champion Cairo Bonfim of Brazil, and Canadian Ivan Danfee, who is the world race walking champion. Other in this year's include champion world to be announced in November this month during the World Athletics Awards ceremony. Well, Premier League leaders Arsenal continued their impressive starts to the season with a comfortable 2-0 win at Burnley to make it 9 consecutive victories in all competitions. Meanwhile, Ahmed Diallo scored an 81st minute volley to earn Manchester.
Ball that was. Premier League. Trossard stopped on the line.
Now, a solitary 37th minute goal by Sahu Gurasi and Borussia Dortmund a 1-0 victory over Augsburg on Friday night as they warmed up for their upcoming UEFA Champions League trip to Manchester City on Wednesday. The win pushed Dortmund to the 2nd in the Bundesliga, trailing by 4 points to leaders Bayern Munich.
Romelu. It's a bit wide for the shot. Trying to make his angle better. Noosa. Not sure Noosa was expecting that. Baku.
We've come to the end of the Legends edition tonight. Thank you so much, as always, for your time and your company. My name is Maria Yambo, and helping me with the sign language was Byron Abole. Good night.
ile naye pia hiyo. Kwa hiyo shida ya mtoto vile yako jua pia hata yeye anampitia, sababu ukiona mtoto anaweza kaa mbali na wengine, na yake kaa kwa boma anaangalia mtoto anakaa peke yake, anacheza peke yake, wengine akikuja hapa anaamuka ama anainama, so ana amani. Zale malaria inampata, kama zale anasikia mwili ni joto, anamjulia kwa upande wa macho na hiyo kitu kuvuma sana, inaanza kufura, ni uchungu kwake. Hata mtoto mdogo ambaye ako na miaka 1, hata hiyo miaka 2 hapo, akimguza tu hivi analia. Kuna wakati yeye msichana alilia sana akaumia, mpaka msichana akasema, akataja kitu ambayo, Mungu nichukue, tafadhali unichukue nikuve.
Tushinde.com. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive, not for persons under the age of 18 years.
Sasa kwa star 419 hash